Imagine a place where ancient traditions aren't just like stuck in museums, but they're actually woven right into the fabric of this hyper-modern city.
Yeah, where you see these huge skyscrapers reflecting palace roofs that are centuries old. It's quite a sight.
Exactly. And there's this pulsating energy of global pop culture, K-culture everywhere. But it sits right alongside this real sense of history.
That's Seoul. It's really the dynamic heart of South Korea's global influence. It offers an experience you just won't find anywhere else.
But the big question for you listening is probably, how do you actually navigate this? How do you experience this huge, vibrant capital?
Right. With all its history, its futuristic feel, that almost electric energy, how do you do it without feeling totally overwhelmed? Because it can feel overwhelming.
Yeah, there's just so much.
Well, welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, your research, our notes, all of it, and we really dig in.
We pull out the most vital bits of knowledge, the key insights. Basically, we want to give you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed, cutting through all the noise.
And today, we are definitely embarking on a deep dive into Seoul, South Korea. We're going to decode its districts, figure out the logistics of getting around.
Which is actually surprisingly easy, but we'll get to that.
Right. And break down the real costs for different travel styles, share some crucial insider tips, help you make the most of it, even if you're on a tighter budget.
And we'll be pulling from multiple perspectives, from all the source material we've gathered, so you get a really comprehensive picture of what makes Seoul so unique, so efficient, and just captivating.
Absolutely. So let's jump in.
All right, let's unpack this city. When we talk Seoul, we're talking about a global powerhouse. It's not just a capital city.
No, it's the world's fourth largest metropolitan area. That's huge. Over half of South Korea's entire population lives there.
Wow, so over 25 million people. Just imagine that density, that energy.
Exactly. And it's the city that doesn't just put old buildings next to new ones. It integrates them. There's this effortless grace to it almost.
Yeah, our sources keep highlighting that dynamic blend of old and new. It really feels like the city's core identity.
Totally. Think about it. You could be walking through a majestic 14th century palace in the morning.
Like Gyeongbokgung Palace, feeling that history.
Right. And then maybe just an hour later, you're surrounded by these towering glass skyscrapers, maybe watching digital art on their facades, or you're at some high-tech design exhibition.
It's such a stark contrast, but it works. It's not just visual, is it? It feels deeper, like a cultural philosophy.
It really does. Respect for the past, but this relentless drive for the future. You don't see that blend quite the same way elsewhere.
And it's not just Seoul, right? The whole country, South Korea. It's geographically small. You said about the size of Indiana.
Yeah, roughly. But it punches way above its weight globally. It has 22 national parks, beautiful Jeju Island.
The Hawaii of Korea, I've heard it called.
Yeah, it's exactly. UNESCO site. And of course, the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, which is incredibly poignant.
And yet, it's still often overlooked as a travel destination, isn't it?
It really is, which is kind of astonishing given everything it offers.
So that contrast we mentioned, it goes beyond just buildings, right? You were saying it's about Seoul's identity as a global influencer.
Absolutely. Let's start with its role as a global cultural powerhouse. K-culture. I mean, you can't escape it, and why would you want to?
Right. K-pop, K-dramas, K-beauty, K-fashion. It's everywhere.
And its influence is genuinely global. It's reshaping trends worldwide. You don't just read about it, you feel it in Seoul.
How so?
It's on the giant billboards, it's in the street style people wear, it's playing in the cafes. The city itself feels like this living example of modern Korean culture.
And the interesting part isn't just what K-culture is, but how it became this global force, right?
Exactly. It's this incredibly efficient system, talent development, digital strategy, understanding global trends. They turned creativity into a major industry. It's fascinating.
Okay, so culture is huge. What else defines Seoul's allure?
Well, you absolutely have to talk about it as a culinary capital. This isn't just good food. It's a foodie paradise.
Bold flavors, right. Lots of fermentation.
Totally. Korean cuisine is all about those bold, authentic flavors. And eating is such an immersive experience. Think Korean BBQ.
Oh yeah, grilling the meat right at your table.
Samgyeopsal, galbi. The smell, wrapping it in lettuce with kimchi and sauces, it's amazing. And it's so social.
And the stews, those hearty GG comfort food.
Definitely. And then there's the street food. Endless options, always delicious, usually super affordable. Tteokbokki, fried chicken.
The famous Korean fried chicken.
Can't miss it. The point is, eating in Seoul isn't just about fuel. It's central, it's lively, it's deeply social. It reflects that communal spirit.
Okay, so culture, food. What else makes it stand out? You mentioned efficiency.
Yes, the efficiency and connectivity. The city is hyper efficient.
Hmm.
It operates with this real sense of purpose.
The subway system is legendary, isn't it?
It really is world class. Super clean, incredibly punctual, like down to the minute, and surprisingly easy to navigate.
Even for someone who doesn't speak Korean.
Absolutely. Signs are everywhere in multiple languages: English, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. It's very user-friendly.
And the internet. I hear it's amazing.
It's practically a public utility. High-speed internet is everywhere, often free in public spaces, and lightning fast. Technology is just seamlessly woven into daily life.
Which must make things so much easier for travelers.
Yeah.
Planning, navigating.
Exactly. It reduces a lot of the usual travel stress.
Yeah.
The insight here is how much government investment and a competitive market created this incredible level of connectivity. It really sets a global standard.
Wow. Okay, one more practical point. Safety. It's a massive city.
Right, but here's the thing. Safety and cleanliness, despite its size and density, Seoul consistently ranks as one of the safest and cleanest major cities in the world.
That's really reassuring.
It is. And it's not just hype. You feel it. You can explore with confidence, even late at night. It gives you this peace of mind that lets you really immerse yourself.
Violent crime is low.
Exceptionally low. Petty crime, like pickpocketing, can happen in very crowded tourist spots, but it's rare. It just feels incredibly secure.
Okay, so we've got this picture of a dynamic, efficient, safe, and culturally rich city. Let's dive into the experiences. Where do we start?
We absolutely have to start by stepping back in time. Exploring Seoul's imperial palaces and Hanok villages is a must. It's like walking right into the Joseon dynasty.
Gyeongbokgung Palace, you mentioned earlier. The main one.
Yes, the largest, the most iconic of the 5 grand palaces. It was the seat of government for 2 centuries. You really feel the history there.
And the changing of the guard ceremony. Is that worth seeing?
Definitely. It's vibrant, colorful, full of traditional costumes, a real spectacle.
And you mentioned a tip about renting hanbok, the traditional dress.
Yes. This is a great tip from our sources. Renting a hanbok, they're available right near the palace, not only makes for incredible photos with the palace and Mount Bugak in the background,
We can imagine.
but wearing one actually gets you free entry into the palace.
No way. That's fantastic. A great way to immerse yourself and save money.
Exactly. It's interactive and fun.
Okay, what about other palaces? Gyeongbokgung.
Gyeongbokgung Palace and its Huan, the secret garden. This one is special. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for how it blends with nature.
So less imposing, maybe. More organic.
Precisely. It served as the main royal residence for 13 kings, so it's deeply historical. The complex is huge, 110 acres, and over half of that is the Huan Secret Garden.
Secret garden. Sounds intriguing.
It is. It's stunning. Serene, beautiful landscaping, ancient trees over 300 years old. It feels like a hidden oasis right in the city.
How much is it to get in?
The palace complex is about 3,000 KRW, and the secret garden is an extra 5,000 KRW. Definitely worth it. And I highly recommend taking an English guided tour for the garden to really get the history and design details.
Good tip. And Hanok villages, what are those exactly?
They are clusters of traditional Korean houses called Hanok. Wandering through them gives you a real glimpse into life during the Joseon dynasty.
Bukhan Hanok village is the famous one in Seoul, right?
Yes, it's very popular, nestled between the 2 main palaces. What's cool is that many of these beautiful old houses aren't just preserved. They've been turned into cafes, restaurants, tea houses, even guest houses.
So you can actually stay in one.
You can. It's a great way to experience history firsthand. Namsangal Hanok Village is another good one, offering cultural experiences too. They're living history, constantly adapting.
Okay, so we've stepped back in time. Let's slingshot forward into modern Seoul. Where do we feel that pulse?
Right, let's dive into the modern and pop culture hubs. These places really define Seoul's contemporary vibe and global reach.
Myeongdong has to be first, right? Shopping paradise.
Absolutely. Myeongdong is pure sensory overload, but in the best way possible. It's the mecca for K-beauty, fashion, and nonstop street food.
So vibrant, noisy, lots of people.
Totally. Colors, smells, the energy. It's just alive. A real showcase of Korean consumer culture.
Then there's Gangnam, made famous by that song, of course.
Exactly. PSY put it on the global map. It's the upscale district. You've got the huge COEX mall there.
And that amazing library inside it, Starfield Library.
Yes. It's stunning. Multi-story, open concept. It's an architectural statement as much as a library, a really cool public space.
And for K-pop fans.
SM Town is in Gangnam. It's a complex dedicated to one of the biggest K-pop agencies, SM Entertainment. Fans can get merchandise, see exhibits. It's a deep dive for them. Gangnam really represents Korea's economic boom and embrace of luxury.
What architecture? Anything really futuristic?
Oh, definitely. The Dong Diamond Design Plaza, the DDP, designed by Zaha Hadid.
Ah, yeah, her style is unmistakable.
It really is. It's this huge, flowing, futuristic structure. A hub for design, fashion shows, night markets. It's bold, completely different from the palaces, but it fits Seoul's diverse aesthetic.
Okay, so Myeongdong for shopping, Gangnam for upscale, BDP for design. What about a younger vibe?
That's Hongdae, absolutely. It's centered around Hongik University, so it's very youthful, vibrant, artistic.
What kind of stuff do you find there?
Indie music venues, constant street performances, dancers, musicians, quirky themed cafes, cutting-edge fashion boutiques, often really unique stuff.
And for K-pop fans again.
Hongdae's great for that, too. You might see aspiring performers practicing, you can visit some of the smaller entertainment agency buildings, or even take a K-pop dance class. It feels very authentic, very energetic.
Beyond specific neighborhoods, what about just iconic views, seeing the whole city?
Right, iconic landmarks and views. The classic is Namsan Seoul Tower.
On the mountain, right? You take a cable car.
Yep. Or you can hike up. The panoramic views are incredible, especially at sunset or night when the city lights up. Really gives you a sense of Seoul's scale.
And there's an even taller one now, isn't there?
Yes, the Lotte World Tower. It's South Korea's tallest building, the Seoul Sky Observation Deck. The views are just insane, really shows off the city's vertical growth.
Any big parks worth checking out?
Seoul Olympic Park, it's huge. Site of the '88 Olympics. It's great because it's divided into sections, art, with the Soma Museum and tons of sculptures, history with ancient fortifications, nature areas, and sports facilities.
And it's free to wander around.
Mostly, yeah. You can easily spend an afternoon there just exploring, picnicking, people watching. Great value.
Even in such a dense city, can you find quiet spots? Nature escapes.
Surprisingly, yes. There's nature and tranquility right in and near Seoul. Bukhansan National Park is just outside the city limits.
Hiking with city views.
Stunning hiking trails, amazing panoramic views back over Seoul, plus ancient temples hidden in the mountains. It gets crowded, especially weekends, because it's so accessible, but it's worth it.
Anything right downtown?
The Cheonjicheon stream. It's this restored stream that flows right through the middle of downtown. It's beautifully landscaped, a peaceful place to walk or just sit.
Like an urban oasis.
Exactly. And Seoul Forest is another great urban park, perfect for picnics, cycling, just relaxing. A real green lung for the city.
And timing matters for nature too, right? Cherry blossoms.
Oh, absolutely. Late March to late April is cherry blossom season. The city just explodes in pink and white. Festivals like the Uido Cherry Blossom Festival are huge, but beautiful. Expect crowds, though.
Okay, so tons to do in Seoul itself. What about venturing further out? Is it easy?
Very easy and highly recommended. South Korea is small, and the transport is excellent. Let's talk about beyond Seoul.
The DMZ has to be top of the list for many, right?
The demilitarized zone. It's a sobering experience, but essential for understanding Korean history and the current situation. It's the border between North and South Korea.
You have to go on a guided tour, I assume.
Yes, it's the only way. And book well in advance. They fill up fast. Tours let you visit the Joint Security Area, JSA, where you can literally step into North Korea for a moment.
Wow.
You can see infiltration tunnels dug by the North, visit Freedom Bridge, look into North Korea from observatories. It's powerful. Tours start around $60 USD.
A completely different experience would be Jeju Island.
Totally different. Jeju Island, the Hawaii of Korea, volcanic island, semi-tropical climate, stunning nature. Mount Halasan, lava tubes, beaches, great hiking.
And those women divers.
Yeah.
The Hanyeo.
Yes. Incredible women who free dive for shellfish without breathing gear. It's a centuries-old tradition, UNESCO recognized. You can see them, and there's a museum about them.
How do you get there?
Easy and cheap flights from Seoul, about an hour, perfect for a 2-3 day trip.
What about another major city? Busan.
Busan is great. Korea's second city down on the coast. Just 2 hours from Seoul by the KTX bullet train.
Beaches, I imagine.
Fantastic beaches like Haeundae and Gwangali. Very lively in summer. But the real gem for me is the Gamcheon Culture Village.
The colorful hillside village.
Exactly, the mural village. It's this maze of narrow alleys, brightly painted houses, quirky art installations, little shops and cafes. Super photogenic and unique.
Any recommendations for serious hikers?
Jiresan National Park, South Korea's first and largest national park. Features Mount Jiri, tons of trails, beautiful Buddhist temples tucked away, and this interesting place called Samsunggung, the Three Sages Palace.
And admission is cheap.
Like, ridiculously cheap. Around $1.20 USD. Incredible value for such amazing nature.
Okay, so beyond sightseeing, what about interactive cultural activities, getting hands-on?
Absolutely. You have to experience noraebang karaoke.
That's different in Korea, right? Not like an open mic night.
Totally different. You rent a private room, often quite fancy, with your friends, big songbooks, microphones, sometimes tambourines, disco lights. It's a full-on private party.
Sounds fun. Is it expensive?
Surprisingly affordable, maybe $4 to $12 USD per hour for the room, depending on the place and time. It's a cultural institution and a total blast.
There's something more. Intellectual.
Yeah.
Museums.
The National Museum of Korea is fantastic. It covers the entire sweep of Korean history, art, culture, from prehistory onwards.
Any famous artifacts?
Oh yeah, national treasures like the Bukhansan Monument, the huge Gyeongbokgung Pagoda, and the best part, main exhibitions are free. Incredible value.
What about trying a martial art? Taekwondo.
You can. Taekwondo is Korea's native martial art, famous for its high kicks and discipline. Places like Kang's Global Taekwondo in Seoul offer introductory classes for tourists.
How much would that cost?
Around 43,000 KRW, maybe 32 USD for an hour. A unique way to connect with the culture and get some exercise.
And connecting with the food more deeply.
Talking classes. Highly recommended. You learn to make classics like bibimbap, kimchi, bulgogi yourself.
That sounds amazing, taking those skills home.
Exactly. Hello Cake and Kit Cooking is one place, costs around $80 USD. You learn several dishes. It makes you appreciate the cuisine even more.
Or if you just want someone to guide you through the food scene.
Then a food tour is perfect, especially for tackling the street food scene or finding hidden local gems. Guides explain the dishes, the etiquette.
Any recommendations?
Ongo Food runs popular tours in Seoul and other cities. Prices start around 52 USD. It's a fantastic way to really unlock the culinary landscape with an expert.
Okay, let's dive deeper into that culinary landscape then. The Seoul foodie journey. What's the vibe?
The vibe is bold flavors, lots of fermented goodness like kimchi and gochujang, and it's very, very social. Sharing is key. Prepare for a taste explosion.
So, what are the absolute must-tries? Korean BBQ has to be near the top.
Absolutely number one. Korean BBQ, samgyeopsal, pork belly, or galbi, marinated beef ribs. It's an experience.
Grilling it yourself at the table.
Yep. The sizzle, the smell.
Yeah.
Then wrapping it in lettuce with samjang sauce, kimchi, maybe some garlic. It's interactive, fun, and delicious. A social ritual.
And kimchi. It's everywhere, right?
Kimchi is the national dish. You'll get it with pretty much every meal. Spicy, tangy, fermented cabbage is the most common, but there are hundreds of varieties.
Hundreds. Wow.
Yeah, different regions, different seasons, different ingredients. It's incredibly healthy, too, full of probiotics, a cornerstone of the cuisine.
Okay, beyond BBQ and kimchi, what other staples should people look for?
So many. Let's talk staple dishes. Bibimbap, that colorful mixed rice bowl.
Look amazing in photos.
Tastes amazing, too. Rice topped with sautéed veggies, maybe some meat, a fried egg, and that spicy gochujang paste. You mix it all up. Delicious and balanced, often served in a hot stone pot, but also bibimbap.
What about street food favorites?
Tteokbokki, those chewy rice cakes in a spicy, slightly sweet sauce. Super popular, very addictive. Often comes with fish cakes.
Sounds good. And bulgogi.
Bulgogi, thinly sliced marinated beef or pork, usually grilled or stir-fried. It has this amazing savory sweet flavor, really tender, a classic comfort food.
And we can't forget the Korean fried chicken.
Never. Korean fried chicken, or KFC, it's famous for its incredibly crispy double-fried skin and the amazing sauces or glazes, often eaten with beer. That's the chumate combo.
Chicken and beer. Sounds like a perfect pairing.
It really is. Perfect casual food.
So, exploring the street food adventure sounds like a must. Where do you go?
Markets like Gwangjang Market are fantastic, historic, covered market, just packed with food stalls.
What kind of things?
Mandu, which are delicious dumplings, steamed or fried. Kimbap, those seaweed rice rolls, kind of like Korean sushi, but different fillings. And hati.
What's hodeok?
Oh, it's amazing. A sweet, chewy pancake, usually filled with brown sugar syrup, cinnamon, and nuts, cooked fresh on a griddle. Perfect winter snack, but great anytime.
It's all pretty cheap.
Super cheap, like
Yeah.
$1 to $2.25 USD per item usually. You can eat really well just grazing on street food.
Okay, what about drinks? What do people drink?
Well, drinks. The undisputed king is soju.
The clear stuff in the green bottle.
That's the one. It's a spirit similar to vodka, but usually lower alcohol content. It's incredibly cheap and everywhere. People drink it straight, often with food.
Anything else?
Makgeolli. It's a traditional fermented rice wine. Milky, slightly fizzy, a bit sweet and tangy. Served chilled, often in bowls. A very different experience. Worth trying.
And beer.
Local Korean beers like Cass and Height are common and refreshing. A beer in a restaurant might be $3–4 USD, soju is even cheaper. Drinking is very much part of the social dining scene.
Right, that communal aspect again, sharing food, pouring drinks for each other.
Exactly, it's all part of the experience. Embrace the lively, sometimes loud atmosphere.
Okay, practical stuff now. Where do you actually stay in Seoul? Accommodation options.
Seoul has a huge range, and generally it's pretty good value compared to, say, Tokyo or major Western cities.
Let's start with budget-friendly.
Hostels.
Yep, tons of modern, well-run hostels in popular spots like Hongdae, Myeongdong, Adawan. Dorm beds run maybe $20–45 USD a night.
In private rooms. Private rooms in hostels or guest houses or basic budget hotels are probably in the $50–100 USD range. For super, super basic, you might find Gosuwon or Gosutel tiny rooms, sometimes shared bath, very cheap, often used by students. Hostel dorms can dip as low as $10.18 USD if you find a deal.
What about mid-range?
Loads of options here. Comfortable, stylish hotels, often near subway stations. Expect to pay around $110–250 USD per night. Great balance of comfort and convenience.
And for luxury?
World-class, stunning high-end hotels, particularly in Gangnam, Myeongdong, Jongno. Amazing service, views, amenities. Prices start around $280 USD and go way up from there.
Are there any unique stays?
Definitely. Staying in a traditional Hanok guest house in Bucheon or Ikseondong is amazing. You sleep on futons on heated floors, on dosi. It's a real cultural experience.
Sounds cool, but maybe not for everyone.
Right, it's traditional. Also, some hotels have K-pop themed rooms, if that's your thing.
So what are the key factors when choosing where to stay?
Location, location, location. Myeongdong for shopping, Hongdae for nightlife, Insadong for culture. Think about your priorities.
And timing matters for price.
Absolutely. Spring and autumn, plus major holidays, are peak season, so prices are higher. Summer and winter can be cheaper.
Looking ahead.
Highly recommended, especially for peak season or those unique Hanok stays. They fill up fast.
Okay, accommodations sorted. How do you get around this massive city? Transportation.
This is where Seoul truly excels. Mastering its world-class transportation is easy.
The Seoul Metro subway, right?
Yes. It's the star. Incredibly efficient, huge network, super clean, safe, and user-friendly. Signs in multiple languages. It's the best way to get around, hands down.
What about tickets?
Get a T-Money card. It's a rechargeable smart card. You just tap it to pay for the subway, buses, even taxis sometimes. Super convenient. Fares are cheap, around $1 USD per ride.
Are buses useful too?
Yes, the bus network is extensive and complements the subway. Reaching areas trains don't go directly. They're color-coded, and you use your T-Money card.
Taxes. Ride sharing.
Taxis are plentiful and relatively affordable. Kakao T is the main Korean ride-hailing app, works like Uber. Uber itself isn't as common there. Regular taxis are metered.
Is it a walkable city?
Walking is great for exploring within a specific district, like Myeongdong or Insadong. But Seoul is huge. For getting between districts, you'll rely heavily on public transport.
But getting from the airport, Incheon.
Airport transfers are smooth. From Incheon, ICN, the ARX Airport Railroad Express train is fast and efficient, taking you to Seoul Station. There are direct express trains and all-stop options.
Or buses.
Yep, airport limousine buses are great too. They go to many different parts of Seoul, often dropping you near major hotels. From Gimpo Airport, GMP, the subway is super convenient.
What about traveling beyond Seoul to other parts of Korea?
Also very efficient. Inner-city travel is well developed.
Buses.
Long-distance buses are often the cheapest and most popular way for Koreans to travel. Express buses are comfortable. Booking can be tricky for foreigners online, sometimes easier at the terminal. Seoul to Busan is about 4 hours, maybe $27 USD. Excellent train system. The KTX bullet train is fast but pricey. Seoul to Busan in 2.5 hours for around 67 USD.
Cheaper train options?
Yes, Korail runs slower inner-city trains. Mugunghwa ITX Samol, which take longer, like 5.5 hours to Busan, but cost less, maybe $35 USD. More scenic sometimes, too.
Is there a rail pass for tourists?
Yes, the Korail Pass. Unlimited travel for a set period starts around $90 USD for 2 days. Can be good value if you're doing a lot of train travel. Booking KTX in advance online can sometimes save money too.
Is flying within Korea common?
Not really necessary for most routes given the train efficiency, but budget airlines do offer short flights, like Seoul to Busan for maybe 23 USD.
What about driving yourself? Car rental?
Car rental is an option, around $40 USD a day. Best for exploring rural areas or national parks not easily reached by public transport. City driving can be intense.
Hitchhiking? Is that a thing?
Surprisingly, yes. Hitchhiking is considered safe and relatively common for foreigners. People report getting rides pretty easily outside the big cities.
Interesting. Okay, let's talk money. Budgeting is so expensive.
It's moderate, I'd say. Offers good value compared to Tokyo or London, but it's not Southeast Asia cheap.
Let's break down those accommodation costs again in KRW and USD.
Hostels, hostel dorm,
Yeah.
14,000, 25,000 KRW, 1018 USD. Hostel private room, 40,000, 70,000 KRW, 3052 USD.
Budget hotels or Airbnb?
Budget hotel, 28,000, 40,000 KRW, 2130 USD. Airbnb private room, 25,000, 30,000 KRW, 1822 USD. Whole Airbnb apartment, 50,000, 70,000 KRW, 37 to 52 USD.
Okay. And food and drink costs?
Yeah. Street food.
Street food. 1,500, 3,000 KRW, $1 10 pounder for $2.25 USD. Super affordable.
Restaurants,
Sit-down meals, 9,000 KRW, $6.70 USD for a simple local meal, up to 30,000 KRW, $22.22 USD or more for something like BBQ. Casual takeout, maybe 4,500 KRW, $3.35 USD. Wine, maybe 6,000 KRW, $4.25 USD. Cocktails, 7,000 KRW, $5.25 USD.
groceries if you cook.
Maybe 50,000, 70,000 KRW, 37 W252 USD for a week's basics.
So putting that together, what's an estimated daily cost? Let's start with a budget traveler. Okay, on a tight budget, maybe 75,000 KRW, which is about 56 USD per day.
Wow.
Staying in dorms, eating mostly street food or cheap local spots, maybe cooking a bit, only using public transport, hitting free attractions. You'd have to watch spending on shopping or nightlife. Definitely doable.
What about a mid-range traveler? Someone wanting more comfort?
Around 135,000 KRW, or $100 USD per day. This seems to be the sweet spot for many.
Where does that get you?
A private Airbnb or mid-range hotel, eating out at a mix of local places, plus some nicer meals like BBQ, using public transport but maybe an occasional taxi, budget for some paid attractions or activities, a great balance.
Luxury.
Starts around 255,000 KRW, $190 USD per day, but really the sky's the limit. High-end hotels, fine dining, private tours, shopping sprees, top K-pop experiences.
What are the main things that drive up the cost? The key cost drivers?
Accommodation is usually the biggest chunk, especially luxury places. Shopping K-beauty, fashion, K-pop merch adds up fast. Upscale dining, theme parks like Lotte World, special events, and frequent clubbing or bar hopping.
But there are ways to save money. Money-saving tips.
Tons. First, hydration and groceries. Carry a reusable water bottle. Tap water is safe. Buy drinks and snacks at convenience stores or supermarkets like Lotte Mart, much cheaper than cafes.
Good one. What else?
Maximize free attractions. So many great free museums like the National Museum, shrines, temples, parks, Olympic Park, just wandering cool neighborhood.
Transport passes?
Definitely get the T-Money card. Consider a Discover Seoul Pass or similar city pass if the attractions included match your plans. And for train travel outside Seoul, the Korean Pass for tourists can save a lot.
Eating cheap.
Embrace local eating. Street food and local restaurants are delicious, authentic, and super affordable. Best way to eat well on a budget.
Drinks.
Stick to local drinking culture. Soju and local beer are incredibly cheap, especially from convenience stores. Just pace yourself.
Any unusual budget stays?
Yeah, unique budget stays. Couch surfing is an option for free lodging with locals, or capsule pod hotels, tiny private spaces starting around 33 USD, minimalist but affordable.
And time.
Travel during shoulder seasons, spring after cherry blossoms, late April, May, or autumn before peak foliage, late October. Often lower prices and fewer crowds.
Okay, speaking of timing, let's talk timing your trip and understanding Korean culture. Best time to visit?
Generally, spring, March, May, and autumn, September, November, are considered the best.
Why is that?
Mild weather, usually 10, 24 degrees C or 50, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Comfortable for exploring. Prices might be slightly lower than peak summer holidays, fewer crowds.
Spring has the cherry blossoms, right?
Yep, late March, early April. Absolutely beautiful. Downside can be occasional fine dust or air pollution.
And autumn?
Many say autumn is the absolute best. Crisp, pleasant temps, gorgeous fall foliage, clear skies. Perfect for hiking and sightseeing.
What about the other seasons? Summer.
Summer, June, August, is hot and humid, like
Yeah.
25, 35 degrees C plus, 77, 95 degrees errors plus. Plus, it's monsoon season, especially July, August, so expect rain.
Sounds intense for sightseeing.
It can be, but it's lively with festivals. It's also peak domestic travel time, so more crowds and higher prices.
In winter.
Winter, December, February is cold, often below freezing, -5 to 5 degrees C, 23, 41 degrees hair. Dry, sometimes snowy. Can be magical with festive lights, ice skating, fewer crowds, potentially lower prices outside holidays. Great for cozy indoor activities and hot food.
So it really depends on your priorities. Weather, crowds, cost.
Exactly. Each season offers a different Seoul experience.
Beyond weather, what about understanding the culture? Essential cultural insights.
Super important for a richer trip. First, respect and hierarchy. It's fundamental. Politeness is key. Bowing is common.
Respect for elders especially.
Crucial. You see it in dining etiquette. Don't pour your own drink. Wait for elders to eat first. Small things that show respect go a long way.
What else? That fast pace.
Yes, the hard work and fast pace.
Mm-hmm.
Poly culture. Quickly. Seoul feels like it never stops. It reflects this national drive, dedication, translates to great efficiency, but also a constant buzz.
And the K-culture influence we keep mentioning.
It's just part of daily life. Music, fashion, beauty standards. Embracing it helps you understand modern Korea.
The communal dining aspect too.
Absolutely. Eating is social. Lots of shared dishes. Be open to ordering variety and sharing with your group. It's part of the fun.
People seem very stylish there. Fashion and appearance.
Generally, yes. Koreans tend to be very fashion conscious. People put effort into their appearance, even casually. You'll notice it.
And language. English proficiency.
It varies. Younger people, especially in tourist areas, often speak good English, but it's not universal. Learning basic Korean phrases, hello, thank you, excuse me, is super helpful and appreciated.
Translation apps are probably essential.
Definitely. Papago is a popular one developed in Korea. Use it for menus, signs, basic conversations, a lifesaver.
Okay, last big topic. Safety and security. You said Seoul is very safe.
Exceptionally safe. Consistently ranked as one of the world's safest major cities, violent crime is extremely low. You really can explore with peace of mind, even at night.
Any specific things to watch out for? Petty crime.
It's rare, but be aware of potential pickpocketing in super crowded places. Myeongdong, busy subway stations, markets, just standard precautions. Keep valuables secure. Be aware of your surroundings.
Public transport and traffic safety.
Public transport is incredibly safe and reliable. For traffic, just be cautious crossing streets. Pedestrians usually have right-of-way, but cars can move fast. Look both ways.
Food and water safety. Can you eat the street food safely? Drink the tap water.
Yes, food hygiene standards are high. Even for street food, look for busy stalls. Tap water is safe to drink, though many locals prefer filtered bottled for taste. So yes, enjoy the food without worry.
What about emergencies, like natural disasters, earthquakes?
Minor earthquakes happen in the region. Good idea to download the Emergency Ready app from the Korean government. It has English info, alerts, shelter locations, just good preparedness.
Emergency contacts.
Easy ones. Police is a 1 in 12. Fire ambulance is 119.
Any final personal preparedness tips?
Trust your gut. Make copies of documents, share your itinerary, and definitely get good travel insurance. Covers illness, injury, theft, cancellations, essential peace of mind.
So that really covers a lot, from the culture clash to the food to getting around.
Yeah, it's a city that truly blends its ancient roots with this incredibly futuristic vision. Palaces and K-pop living side by side.
We've hit the amazing food, the historic sites, the K-culture pulse, the practical stuff like where to stay and how to use that amazing subway.
It really is a place where you can step back centuries in the morning and be at a high-tech exhibit or concert by afternoon.
And while it seems huge, with a bit of planning and these insights, you can definitely navigate it and have an incredible time.
Absolutely. Our deep dive shows, I think, why Seoul's unique mix of history, innovation, food, and energy makes it so captivating. It's a real journey into the heart of South Korea.
It really sounds like it.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe ponder as you think about your own trip. In a city that's so intensely focused on both its incredibly rich past and its super fast-paced future, what aspect of Seoul do you think would leave the biggest mark on you? Would it be the taste of the kimchi jjigae or the tteokbokki, the sheer grandeur of Gyeongbokgung Palace, or maybe that infectious, undeniable energy of K-culture you feel everywhere? Something to think about.